Welcome to another episode of We Are Human. I am your host, Elijah, and today I am here with the CEO and founder of Janney Roofing, Derek Janney.
What's up, guys?
And we're going to be talking about his company, how it came to be, and where he's headed.
Awesome.
Diving in first, tell me a brief history of how it all started.
So as a kid, I've always been trying to sell some business or do something. And so it's like, I had a little auto detail business. I sold roses, entrepreneurial spirit, right?
Yeah.
And like 04, 05, we had a bunch of hurricanes come through, Hurricane Charlie, and it was crazy. And so a friend of mine said, hey, do you want to come sell roofs? And I'm like, what does that even mean, sell a roof? And needless to say, I started to realize there was people in need that needed roofs and they wanted to pick the right company. So I started selling roofs. And I could honestly say I never stopped. So I was like 18 or 19, 16 years ago, I think. And that was it, man. That was a wrap. Then got a chance because that company folded and went under to start my own. And so I went to my dad. I was like, my dad's a businessman. I said, Dad, I think I can do this. I think I understand how to do it. I know how to sell. I understand the material. I think I can do it. And I literally had like 20 contracts that the company just walked from. I got 10 of those people. I went to them and I said, hey, I just got to tell you the truth. I don't have a license. I don't have insurance. I don't have anything. But if you pull the permit, I can help you out because I feel bad for your situation. And we could do it cheaper. I got 10 of those people to say yes. And from those 10 people, that's the capital I used to start the company.
Nice.
And from that point on, we've stayed debt-free for all this time.
You are now the highest rated roofing company in the state of Florida.
Yes, sir.
You are in the top 50 or projected to be in the top 50 nationwide.
Yes, sir.
And you've done it all while remaining debt free.
Yeah, it's been hard, but we just didn't bite off more than we could chew. A lot of guys just finance, and leverage. When you have tough times in the economy like we have now, they can't hang tight.
Right.
So yeah, we did that, and we just worked super hard at taking care of our customers. So yeah, we are the highest rated. We're really proud to be the highest rated roofer in the entire state of Florida. But it started with starting small and doing it one step at a time. And really in the last 6 years is when we saw our growth. So everybody's like, wow, overnight you guys were successful.
It's never overnight, yeah.
No, the first 10 years were painful, super painful. But then we just really hit a stride and our hard work paid off.
So speaking of those first 10 years, elaborate a little bit more on the trusting the steady process, the patience that it requires, because we all know that it requires patience when you're starting a business. But what did it look like for you, specifically?
They say, whoever they is, patience is a virtue. And I am one of the most impatient people.
Yeah.
So how I remain patient is sort of beyond me, but I'm thankful I did. I believed in myself, and I think self-belief is a big thing. I believe that I was good at what I was doing, and if I could bring a team on, I could only go so far with this. I started to build a team, but it just said, I just saw steady growth, and I was like, okay, well, if I keep doing this the right way, it's gonna have to pay off eventually. And so it was my side hustle for a while, which is not many people know that. For the first 10 years, I did a lot of other stuff. I worked in different jobs, and it was my side hustle, but I kept on learning more, learning more about the industry, figuring things out that I didn't know. I studied it like I wanted to be a master.
You had to keep learning.
Had to keep learning. You can't, most people, this is something I've been telling people recently. How many people gave up right before things turned around?
Right.
I mean, it's I think of business like opening a door, going in, seeing if you can do anything, and then if it's awesome, keep going. How many people looked at the last door and said, forget about it, I'm never going to make it? But that very door was the door that was going to change their life. And so I'm the kind of guy, it's a strength and a weakness. I don't take no for an answer. I believe that the squeaky wheel always gets the oil. So I just push and push and push and push. Some people are like, you're too pushy. I'm like, well, maybe, but it got us where we were because I just wouldn't give up.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't give up.
That's solid tunnel vision, you see the...
Locked and loaded, man.
You see the end goal, you see the big picture, and you're doing everything you can to execute that.
Keep getting better. You got to try. You got to try. You got to believe in yourself. That's the number one thing. And all of our sales guys, when we teach them, we're like, look, you could believe in the company and the product, but if you don't believe in yourself and you can't sell yourself, you can't sell a roof.
Right. And that's something that you mentioned to me, off the record, when you called me that one time. You told me, when you're a business owner, you have to believe that you are the best business owner, that there is, And another thing, not to counter that, but also someone else had mentioned to me, You don't have to compete with others. I think that when you're also a business owner, you just got to be the best at what you do and stay in your own lane and not worry about everything else. Because when you have that external or internal noise distorting your vision,
you're right.
You know, that's when you start to worry, oh, but these people are doing this and this and this. You got to worry about yourself also.
I think you just hit something that I wanted to say anyways. We don't think we have competition. We compete with ourselves.
Right.
So people are like, who are your competitors? I don't really know their numbers, their figures. I don't know what they do. There's some great companies out there, but I wake up every day and just compete with yesterday. I'm like, if I can just be better than yesterday, if I can be better than last quarter, I'm just competing with myself. And so it really takes the pressure off.
Right.
Right. You're not trying to keep up with everybody else. Like, well, they're doing this, they're doing this. No, we're doing this. It works. And we're going to keep on perfecting that. And where we got to change our systems and processes, we do, but we compete with ourselves. And so if you can model after certain things, but that's not you. You are you, and only you can be you. So if you just try to mimic somebody else all the time, is that even you?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it's important that, there is no competition other than yourself, but you should compete with yourself every day.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your morning routine and how important like the consistency is, to start your day right and everything else like falling into place.
So the morning routine has changed over the years, but when I am the most effective, I'm on a morning routine that I'm up before the sun's up. I want to be up before everybody's awake because I'm thinking you're sleeping, I'm already getting ahead of it, right? Yep. I know that's for a younger crowd, for other people, that's hard to do because some people, you staying up later and working late hours is the equivalent of me waking up early.
Exactly, yeah.
But basically, I want to work while you're sleeping. So however you want to see that on the flip end. I get up about 5:30 every single day. I wake up, I have a dog, take the dog on a walk. I listen to the news. I have a certain channel that I listen to it's pretty cool. From a Christian perspective, I listen to that. Take the dog on a walk. It's about 30 minutes. I come back. I'll sit on the porch. I'll listen to a podcast. I'll have quiet time. I'll spend some quiet time just sort of meditating and getting my head right and my heart right. As a Christian, that's a thing I do to sort of balance my day. Another thing I do is I drink a lot of water. So I try to drink 100 ounces of water a day. 100 ounces, which is 3 liters of water a day.
Okay.
So I try to drink a liter before I ever leave my house. And I don't have any coffee, nothing, before I do any food or anything. I find that doing that helps me think more clearly. I try to block out the noise. I try not to get on social media, look at all that. I'm trying to just be with myself before everybody's going, before my phone is binging and texts are coming in. I'm trying to take care of me.
Yeah.
So the important part in the routine is this. You can't take care of your team or your people if you can't take care of yourself.
Right.
And here's the analogy. All of you have been on an airplane. You've been on an airplane. I know that. You know when they come across and they say, if the cabin pressure changes, if you're with a child, make sure to put the mask on yourself first. You know when they say the masks are going to pop down? Before you help anybody else. Do you know why they say that?
So that way you're better equipped to
You can't help anybody.
Yeah.
So if the cabin pressure changed and I have a 5-year-old daughter, and imagine she's sitting there and I'm taking care of her and making sure she's situated. Next thing I know, I don't have the air and the oxygen that I need to take care of her. I have to take care of me to take care of my family and to take care of my people. So when I'm at my best, I'll be honest, I have a morning routine, but when I get out of it, you get out of things sometimes. Yeah. But when I'm functioning at the best as a leader, as a husband, as a dad, as a friend, as a brother, whatever it is, I'm up early, taking care of myself and exercising and doing those things that you need to do, but prepping for the day. Before I go to bed, 99% of the time, I already know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm prepping for tomorrow, because if you don't, when you get to tomorrow is going to take control of you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, at the end of the day, what happened today? I don't do that all the time. And when I don't do it, I do it pretty consistently. But when I don't do it, guess what happened? I'm like, what just happened? The day took me for a ride instead of me controlling the day.
Yeah.
So those are the major keys for that, the structure to your personal life or your morning routine.
One thing that's very big on your company that we've talked about before is you say that you are a customer service company that happens to sell roofs.
Right.
And you teach your staff the importance of just being a good person, being generous, being kind, being compassionate. That's fundamental. Why is that one of the most important things within a company?
I mean, well, I think you would say, I'm not asking you to give your perfect opinion, but the way you treat people says a lot about you as a company, right?
Of course.
So if you're mean, to your customers and you're mean to your people, that's going to ripple down. And so all we got in this world is relationships. We got ourselves. We got how we treat people. And I think if you treat people the right way, it's going to come back full circle in your own life. So you have to treat every customer in such a manner that they think you are so grateful and thankful to have them that they're flattered almost. Like we are shocked almost that you chose us. Not shocked, but just thrilled that you chose us. And we want you to feel that way the whole way through. And when we don't do that, sometimes we get so busy that we get away from that culture of customer service. And I found that when we get away from that, that's when we get in trouble with customers. They say things like, you didn't call me back. You didn't get there on time. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. Well, when we go back to why that happened, because we do case studies on tough instances. Okay, why did this happen? Boom, 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 boom. He or she was too busy, and that customer wasn't that important. Our priorities were not aligned.
Yeah.
So I think it's a core value core principle. You just got to care for people the right way. They have to be important to you. If they're not important to you, then they will not believe that their project's going to be any more important than they feel they are to you. The number one, you can spend all the money you want online and all this stuff, buying leads and marketing and all of that. The number one source of referral, or the number one source of leads we get are from referrals. You can't buy those.
Right.
You can earn those. So it's important that people get that. You can't buy those referrals. You have to earn them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's it. And then just giving back, man. To whom much is given, much is required. And we're in a season right now in our country, in our world, where there's a lot of people who are in need. There's people right here in our community, Elijah, that don't have food tonight, that don't have a place to sleep. And so when we've been blessed, we're going to give back. We're on track to, in this first 5 years, or this last 5 years of our company, to give away nearly $1 million. We're giving back to people here in our community. We're giving back to people in India, Costa Rica, Kenya. We're helping people who need help. And I think it's a really important thing for if business owners are watching, or just people, man, if you have something to give back, it doesn't have to be money. What if it's just your time?
Yeah.
I know you help out and volunteer in different areas, and that's important to use your gifts. Use your gifts for for good. So I think that's just an important thing we try to teach our people.
When you're a business owner, even when you start up the company, you put an immense amount of time, dedication, hustle. You like we said, tunnel vision.
Yeah.
How do you avoid being burnt out? For you personally?
I mean, I've been there. Even this year. I mean, with all that was going on, when you find out that there's a pandemic and the economy's about to shut down, and you have 100+ people on your payroll, and I tell my people all the time, my job is no longer to sell roofs, though it used to be. My job is no longer to pull permits, which it used to be. My job is no longer to supervise the crews. My job is no longer to answer the phone. That's their job. I've trained them. I've poured into them. My job as a leader of the company is to take care of them. And so I tell them all the time, when you stop doing your job and I have to do it, I'm not doing my job. And if my job is to take care of you, you want me to be doing my job, so you got to do your job. So I take it so seriously. I'm answering that question. I take it so seriously that these people, they have chosen to follow my vision and join this company. I didn't coerce them or, make them do it. They decided, I want to join arms with Derek and join up with this company because they trust me. And that means I got to keep vision clear. I got to make sure I'm making wise choices, because whatever choice I make today for the company is going to affect the people in my company.
Right.
So I better be making wise choices. I've made bad choices, not because I wanted to, but because I'm a human being. And so whenever the pandemic hit, I took it so heavy on me. Am I going to have to let people go? Is this going to happen? How will I do that? And that really wore me down, man. Emotionally, I think a lot of burnout is emotional and mental. You're just worn out. And so I had to take some steps back, and, I was home a little bit more, just trying to clear my head. During that time is when I really got back into my routine of, my daughter was home too. So every time she would wake up, I would go on a walk with her. And, when you're walking with a 5-year-old and she's talking to you in 5-year-old talk, it can really help you not be burnt out, because it's yes, this is what it's about. But you got to take time for yourself. It goes back really to the routine conversation. But when you feel it starting to creep in, you got to say to your team or something, or to yourself, like, I need to take a break. This weekend, I'm not going to work an extra day. I'm not going to do extra. I've got to, whatever's fun for you. I like to golf. I love cigars. I like to go have a good cigar. I study them, and, I like them. It's a thing. So I spend time with my buddies or watch a sport, watch a game and not work. Mm-hmm. I have friends that when we get together, they work with me. And when we sit down, inevitably they want to talk about work. And I will tell them a bit, hey, listen, today you could talk to me about anything else, but not work. And so it's taken me a long time to get to that point, and not to say that I won't be burnt out again, but I now know when I am.
Yeah.
And I know what to do to backpedal from that. And it's just be a normal human and quit taking the pressure and the brunt of everything on so hard. Mm-hmm. But that morning routine, when I'm in my morning routine, like I said, I'm my best. Hard to get burnt out when you're doing that.
Yeah, because you're already setting the foundation and taking care of yourself.
Yeah, man. You 100%.
One of the last things that I want to ask that I'm curious about is, what would you say is like the best advice that you've ever received?
Okay, so the best advice I think I've ever received. So my company is called Janney Roofing. My last name is Janney. I'm very proud to be a Janney, right? I've got a daughter. Her last name is Janney. I'm going to give you the answer, but I'm going to give you a story to the answer.
Right, of course.
So when my people come to work for me, normally I wear my logo. I'm not wearing it today, but normally I have my J on my shirt, and it just says Janney Roofing. And man, when I put that on, I'm so proud. I mean, I'm so freaking proud, right? To be a Janney, and what that represents in my life. It represents treating people right, doing the right thing, going the extra mile to change the world. And so I tell people all the time when they come work for me, I said, so here's the deal. I have a little daughter. She's 5 years old. Her last name is Janney, and she goes to school. And when she goes to school, I want her classmates to say, hey, I heard your dad has a roofing company, and he did my parents' roof, or he did my friend's roof, and he did such an awesome job. He's so cool. That is so cool that your dad does that. That's such a cool company. The alternative would be, your dad owns that company. Oh, they cheated this person. They did this bad. The quality was terrible. My parents say that your dad's company is the worst. So I tell my people, the bar has been set so high, so don't screw it up for Nora. And they sort of chuckle just like you did, and I always go, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
So when they understand that I care that much about it, your people will care about what you care about the most. So the best advice I could tell you is my mom, every time I would leave the house to go somewhere, when we were teenagers and you're going out, your parents have poured all this time into you. They hope that you're grounded, you're going to make good decisions. But my mom would always say, don't forget you're a Janney. I knew what she meant. Go out there and make wise choices.
Of course.
Go out there, be respectful. If you're going to go to a friend's house, be all of that, what that meant. And so the best advice I ever got was from my mom saying, don't forget that you're a Janney. And I've never forgotten. I'm a Janney, and I know what that means. And so therefore, the people at Janney Roofing, don't forget that they work for Janney Roofing.
Off the top, what would you say to someone who is starting up a business, or who has been pursuing it for a couple of years and is going through it, or like just advice that you can give them, something to encourage them?
So as I mentioned earlier, I did a lot of different businesses before I got here, but it was never because I was passionate about those. I just wanted to make money.
Right.
We all want to make money,
of
right?
course.
I mean, you better want to make money. But if you find something, like you're passionate about what you're doing, we've talked about this, like you're passionate about this. This isn't just like because, like you love it. And when you love something, people can tell you love it. Mm-hmm. So you may have started a business, in regards to that question, you may have started a business that you're just like, well, it's going to make me money. And that's cool if that's what you want to do. But unless you're passionate about it, you won't enjoy it, and therefore your people won't enjoy it, and you won't be able to knock it out of the park. So my first thing is, whatever you have started, find a love for it, or find something else to do, because it's not going to go very far. But those of you who are like in the, you're in the trenches, you started, you've done all the things, and you're like, man, it's just not hitting. And right now, depending on what industry you're in, it's a really bad time to be in business. But if you can get through this season, on the other side of this economy, when it does cure and heal, which it will, you'll be so much better. So I think refining the process, don't be all over the place. You've got to have a system and a process to what you're doing. Because if you don't, it's a mess. Like
it's chaos.
Like I said about if you don't plan your day, your day's going to plan for you. You've got to plan what you're going to do for your company. Your company's going to do that. Around every corner, there's a crisis. You've got to plan for those crises. So don't give up. Keep going if it's what you love to do. If it's not, find something you love to do. And don't be scared. You're not a quitter. When you start a business and it doesn't work, you're not a quitter. It just means it didn't work. What's the next thing? How many times did the guys who were starting Google and the guys who were starting Amazon and all, Apple and all of this stuff, how many times they build something that didn't work?
Yeah.
And didn't work and didn't work. And how many prototypes do you think there were of the first iPhone before they got it right? What if they had just given up? I don't know if you like iPhones, but I'm just trying to say, what if people had given up before this camera got made because they just couldn't figure it out? If you've got something that you love, don't give up if you think it can change the world, and have a meaning besides making money. What's the purpose of your company? Have deeper purpose, and I think you'll enjoy it and you'll be successful.